His kids think he's a star athlete, but they're still very young. You're listening to Game Points with Matthew Ross.
We kind of run out of the zone too quickly, and these had no defensemen had no pass to us. First pass, and I thought it was a key for us. If we would get there, I'm sure we would get more offense on that. But it was we were too spread out, I think, and didn't really support each other.
Welcome back to Game Points. Tequila. I'm your host, Matthew Ross. We're here till the top of the hour. That clip, post-game from Thomas Plekanec, talking about how the Canadians were not crisp in overtime. It is Game Points here on TSN 690. Moe Khan in studio, Eric Thomas as well. Don't forget, coming up in our next segment, we'll do our NFL picks. But first, we're taking your calls, 514-790-1690. Or 1-866-896-2546, or TSN Matthew on Twitter.com. Let's go to Charlie in DDO. Go ahead, Charlie.
Hi, Matthew. I'm a first-time caller. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for calling the show. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Comment on the game tonight. I think the Habs really, honestly, they stole a point. Let's be realistic here. That first period should have been 3-0 St. Louis. I'm a Habs fan, but after seeing that first period, Carey Price stood on his head. Let's be real. He kept them. I don't know who the stars were. I didn't see the 3 stars, but Carey Price played exceptionally well. They're very fortunate they got that point. Another key player tonight I thought was Mikhail Bourneval, that's his name there,
yep.
The young kid?
Absolutely,
yeah.
The rookie.
He played a great game, but on paper, this St. Louis team is just, they just shut you down. And it looked, at one point, the Canadians had they couldn't penetrate the zone, especially in that first period. Michel Therrien made some adjustments, but I got to give it to Carey Price. We stole a point tonight, even though we had a lead at 2-1. It just looked like they were going. It was just a matter of time before they crumbled. Getting a point. I'm impressed that they got a point. What are you going to do? But,
well, they played a pretty good. They played a pretty good team tonight. A team with very good defense and offense, for that matter. A well-balanced team. You mentioned Price. He played very well. And Bourneval picking up his 8th point now in 13 games as a rookie. Fantastic stuff. And one of the better players for the Canadians tonight. Thanks so much for the call. Obviously, Montreal was outplayed by St. Louis in this game. There's no question about it. Nobody's going to refute that. But when you have a chance to win a game, regardless of how you've played, you got to take advantage, particularly at home. This is another example of the lack of home ice advantage that Montreal has and has had since they left the Montreal Forum. And it's kind of a broken record. It kind of gets lost in the shuffle, though. We don't really talk about it all that much anymore. But now Montreal is 4-5 at home. 4-4-1. They're under 500 now at home. And that's inexcusable. How do you have a better road record than home record? Are you putting too much pressure on yourself? Is the Bell Center just not a place where you can get to the next level in terms of bringing your A game? Does the opposition get so excited to be playing in Montreal that they always bring their A game? Whatever the reason is, the Bell Center is not home ice advantage for the Canadians. And I'll tell you something, and I said this earlier in the season, that the fan base does not help the cause. They are not loud enough throughout the game. There were some great moments in this game, particularly late with the Plekanec penalty shot. The fans were just absolutely, loud and just energetic at that point. But this has to be 60 minutes from the fans. Opposing teams need to come into the Montreal Canadiens building and realize that it's going to be a tough night to play. And maybe sometimes it's not going to be tough in terms of the players on the ice not having their A game, but the fans need to make it a tough place to play. Everyone talks about, we're going to Philadelphia. They got some crazy fans there. It's a tough place to play for football, for hockey, for basketball, whatever. Why can't that be the case here? Put your hot dog down and make some noise. All right? Take off the foam finger and clap a little bit. Do something to help the team on the ice rather than booing them at the intermissions or complaining to your buddy next to you. Try and make a difference. I would like to see the fans more vocal and cheering this team on. I remember, different playoff runs from the Oilers in the early 2000s, late 90s, where the other team scores a goal and the fans are just on their feet cheering, ready to go to help the Oilers get right back in it. And that's just something. That's special. So when everyone says that Montreal is the greatest place to play in the world, well, that may be in terms of the city, in terms of everybody loving hockey, but the fans need to pick up their A game too.
Do you believe that the honeymoon now is slowly wearing off with Marc Bergevin, Michel Therrien, with the Habs fans, considering how well they performed in their initial year last season?
I think that's a trick question. I don't think there's ever a honeymoon in Montreal for a coach or a general manager.
This past season, last year, was a honeymoon for Therrien and Bergevin for how well they did in a small sample.
Yeah,
though.
but it's got an asterisk.
Well,
to
think
it,
about
right?
it, right?
You didn't go through 82 games.
No, but you signed Darnay, you bring in Briere, you bring in Douglas Murray, you bring in some middle-tier players onto the roster, no big-name players here, but has it helped the team in the growth and development of what they want to be at this juncture in year number 2?
Game points here on TSN 690. We have a Tweet 10 also coming up this evening. Tweet 10 always by Stefano Micella here in studio. Micella9 on Twitter. Stefano, what is the topic this evening?
Well, Des Bryant seems to make a new proclamation every week, so I have the Tweet 10 Future Proclamations by Des Bryant.
That's good. You'll hear that in the 12:45 segment this evening. Looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to talking some football. And, of course, if you haven't heard the new NFL Sunday on TSN 690, you have 3 games coming at you, most NFL Sundays. This coming week, of course, the Canadians are playing on Sunday. So we'll bring you the 1 o'clock game, and we'll bring you the Habs, and then we'll, I believe, pick up the rest of the NFL Sunday Nighter as well, if I'm not mistaken, unless the post-game show may go in. Well, the Habs are playing at 6, so that game is over at 8:30. Post-game will probably go until 10 o'clock. So, yes, I believe
second half.
We'll probably pick up the second half of the Sunday night game. But,
Cowboys Saints.
We bill it as a triple header, and I will once again be there this coming Sunday, and Eric Thomas as well. We'll be there the rest of the way. Looking forward to that.
Yes, I will be in-house. I couldn't make it last weekend, but looking forward to doing... Well, now it won't even be the triple header, and as a matter of fact, we will not have the Sunday night game after the hockey post-game concludes on Sunday as well. So, yes, things will get done around 10, but we will go straight to ESPN. But starting the week after that, so in about, 14 days or so, maybe a little less than that, we'll get things going in earnest with our first triple header together, Matt.
All right,
and half days.
Speaking of football, folks, right now I need you to call 514-790-1690. I need one person to make 4 NFL picks with us on air. You go into a draw for a $150 gift certificate to Restaurant Vivere downtown in Place Ville-Marie. And they also have a location on Beaver Hall. It's a great upscale Italian restaurant for breakfast and lunch. If you want $150 for that, all you got to do is make 4 picks with us on air, and your name will go into a draw. And we're talking now, you have about a 1 in 13, 1 in 14 chance, something like that. So it's definitely worth doing, especially if you love football and you want to chit-chat with us on air. It'll be a lot of fun. And that is coming up next